Your horse's ability to regulate body heat is affected by temperature, humidity, new environments, body condition, and workload. To help beat the heat, turn to the most innovative technology in managing heat stress in horses. Vitalize Blazon. Blazon is an oral liquid product that supports normal recovery from heat stress and exertion. It contains a proprietary blend of proven ingredients, including prebiotics and antioxidants, to promote blood flow that helps dissipate heat. Blazon promotes hydration and water retention, enhances exercise tolerance, boosts stamina, reduces damaging free radicals, and supports a healthy body temperature and respiratory rate. Top dress Vitalize Blazon on your horse's feed during times of elevated exercise, exertion, or performance, when the heat index is greater than 90 degrees, or when adjusting to a new environment. Administer 2 to 4 pumps, 30 to 60 milliliters per day as needed based on the intensity of heat and exercise. It is recommended to split dosages between morning and evening feedings. Best results occur after 3 consecutive days of use. Win the game against heat stress with the newest Vitalize technology, Vitalize Blazon. Learn more at vitalizeeq.com. Training, competition, and old age can make your horse feel stiff, uncomfortable, and prone to joint discomfort. That's why you need a joint supplement with proven ingredients for real results. Hyaluronics Joint is a natural, proactive approach to sustainable soundness. Hyaluronics is a completely hydrated oral liquid formulation which allows for quick absorption and maximum efficacy. It contains MHB3 hyaluronan, a patented and proven ingredient that is quickly absorbed by mucosal tissue to enhance joint mobility through lubrication, shock absorption, and articular cartilage nutrition. And MHB3 hyaluronan assists in making cartilage strong enough to handle compressive forces like jumping or running barrels. Hyaluronics Joint also contains astaxanthin and hydroxytyrosol, natural antioxidants that aid in soft tissue health and exercise recovery. Hyaluronics Joint is natural, FEI safe, veterinarian recommended, cost-effective, and lessens the need for joint injections. Hyaluronics Joint is available in a half-gallon or gallon jug. Hyaluronics Joint creates sustainable soundness.
And then, quick question.
What can Life Force supplements do for your horse? They can help enhance focus, maintain healthy joints, support muscle endurance, and protect gut health. Life Force Premium Equine Supplements are backed by decades of innovative nutritional research to support superior horse health and performance. While the science is advanced, our philosophy is simple. We believe wellness begins from within. Life Force, powered by science, driven by passion.
Horseflight is excellence in international shipping. We like to say when you fly with us, you fly first class.
Horseflight was started by professionals in this industry, so your horse is next to our horse, and that means they're getting the best care, the best attention, the best service possible during their travels.
I felt like I could give something back to the clients, and that's what we try to do. We give first-class service. Give us a call. Call Horseflight, and we'll get your horse here.
$100 million horses, donkeys and mules support 600 million of the world's poorest families. But for many, life is a daily struggle just to survive. What is our vision? A world in which working horses, donkeys and mules are free from suffering, are better able to support the families who depend on them, and positively affect the economies of their nations. With your help, we can improve the welfare of these hard-working equines. Join us at brookusa.org.
At Hagyard Equine Medical Institute, we're there for you through every phase. With unmatched knowledge and expertise that keeps champions performing at their peak every step of the way. Because we're more than veterinarians. We're riders and owners, just like you. And that's why we've been trusted with your most prized possessions for over 145 years. We're Hagyard Equine Medical Institute. Special horses deserve special care. Hagyard Equine Medical Institute provides a variety of specialty services: acupuncture, ophthalmology, chiropractic, imaging, and more. Also, these remarkable athletes can perform at their peak in noteworthy events like this. Hagyard Equine Medical Institute. Because special performances don't happen without special care.
Training, traveling, and performance can put your horse at risk for developing gastric ulcers and lowered immune system. Vitalize Aliment is a natural product that supports gastric health in horses. Its muco-adhesive formula lines the stomach to protect and mend the GI tissue. It provides complete stomach comfort and relieves equine gastric issues commonly associated with stressors that come with competing. Vitalize Aliment contains patented and proven ingredients that work with the horse's biology to improve gastric health without altering stomach pH or hindering digestion, keeping your horse comfortable and protected at all times. Top dress Vitalize Aliment on feed. For maintenance, feed 30 milliliters daily. During times of high stress or exertion, feed 60 milliliters daily. For best results, divide the daily dose equally between AM and PM feedings, best if pumped immediately before feeding. Vitalize Aliment is available in a half-gallon, 64-ounce, or gallon, 128-ounce jug. Vitalize, a good gut feeling.
Equestrian Services International.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much indeed. $150,000 the purse on this one. It really is an innovation, and it really will showcase the brilliance of the horse. A wonderful course in front of you, and let's make a start and say good luck to the first. She's riding Drumroll. She qualified from the green 3'6", and this is a horse owned by Mary Jane King. But it is a rider who we've seen on so many occasions. Kelly Mullen, Drumroll.
Oh, what a terrible break after a beautiful ride there. And we're bringing in the scores right now. And 1548 total there is 133, and tough break there with that last jump. 133.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate indeed at that final fence for Kelly Mullen, and drumroll, that's a Holstein, 8 years of age, and again owned by Mary Jane King. The first one that we've seen then in the Haggard Split Rock Hunter Grand Prix, this innovative course and innovative design as well with the whole competition. We bring back the best 12 for that second round, but they start with 0. They start again from scratch. Emma van den Houten now. Emma with her own Holsteiner, another Holsteiner that we've seen, decision made.
And decision made is coming out of the large junior 15 and under division. Our second to see in field 36.
Decision made.
And here we go.
Emma van den Houten. So our second one is going to be 1637 decision made. Emma van den Houten riding out of Florida, coming in out of the coming in out of the 3'6" the upper large junior here. She comes down first from the
And here comes decision made, finishing up our course with Emma van den Houten as the only rider coming out of our large junior 15 and under.
And we will update those scores momentarily.
And 1637 will score a 253, and that's going to be the leader at the moment. 253.
Well, one who's won so many Hunter Derbies and international Hunter Derbies as well is Tori Colvin. Such success in the jumper arena as well. Riding for JT Farm, this is Tori Colvin and Gabrielle.
And there you go, 1063. Gabriel wrapping it up with Victoria Colvin in the irons for JT Farm. Now look at that, 1063 will score a 253. So we've seen 3 horses, and we do have a tiebreaker to work out, but 253, double score.
Well, panels of 5 judges, as you know. Now, Haley Rolfe is the next one. It is a horse called Michigan ODF. It's the American one, but bred, of course, with the US breeding. Leslie Cooley-Jones, Haley Rolfe rides, Michigan ODF.
Yeah, Michigan ODF coming home with Haley Rolfe on behalf of the owner Leslie Coolidge. And we'll go back and tell you about that tie-breaking situation with the tiebreaker Emma. Emma's 253 is ahead of Tori's. Yeah, we got a score now for Michigan ODF and Haley Rolfe. It will be at 230, currently 782 third place.
Now, qualifier from the small junior 3'6" is Reynolds Cole with her own Edie Luca. Edie Luca is 13 years of age, and it is good luck to Reynolds Cole.
I'd like to welcome you guys. It's been a beautiful afternoon. The weather's good. The footing's perfect. Nice little breezy afternoon here for a Hunter Classic.
Pat, I came in late. I just finished showing some horses. Were you able to talk a little bit about the new format that Derek Braun is trying to introduce here to the Hunter division?
So the idea behind this is bring a little more of a jumper vibe and newer feel to what would be considered the classic Hunter format. 2 classic rounds. We're not doing a derby round per se, or no handy here in the second round. It's going to be asked to perform to your horses. Oh.
Oh, shoot.
Well, looks like she's up and okay. It's kind of a dirty one on the way.
Maybe we'll take the moment now. Yeah. So basically, what he's saying is he's trying to, I don't know, bring some rock and roll to the Hunter division. It seems like, right? I'm not sure how if you can hear the music on the live stream, but we've been playing. It's fast paced. The horses are coming in quickly. The scores are being thrown as soon as the riders are done, and they're moving right on.
Pretty quick move there.
I think it's
Glad
fun.
you're okay.
We're going to get a nice crowd here. Beautiful, like you said.
Yeah, certainly hope everything is okay there for Reynolds Cole. Very, very unfortunate in this $50,000 Hunter Grand Prix.
We'll get this going for you.
So scores in so far, and it is Emma Vanden Houghton who has the best of them so far. Same score as Tori Colvin, but on the tiebreaker system used here at the Split Rock Hunter Jumper Tournament, it is ahead of Tori Colvin.
Scores that you wouldn't normally see in an average derby, right? I mean, right off the bat.
1267 is for Kelly Corrigan.
I've never jumped a legitimate triple bar in a 100 course before.
Haven Schatz is the rider for CS13. Qualification came from
it
the
is, and with the scoring format and
3'6".
how the judges were encouraged to score it, with the 5 scores coming in and dropping the high score and the low score, definitely offers a very different vibe to get us going. It looks like our next one in is going to be a Haven shot on Diatendro. Haven's coming in out of the Performance 3'6" division qualifier.
Haven's obviously no stranger to winning in the Hunter Ring and derbies and classics, so expect a pretty good performance here. You know, I think everyone's just sort of getting their feet about them on this, right? I was walking the course talking to different riders, and everyone's just trying to get a feel for, you know, how this was going to come across, what the judges were going to reward, and how to get the best effort and best scores out of their horses.
And it is a little unique in that they were instructed to give the score that they see fit, how you've done it, if it's a little faster, if it's a little slower, whatever is best for your horse being rewarded, which is definitely a little different than what you would normally see in your regular hunter format. And the only related distance that the judges have been given in this format is just the 2-stride to the 2-stride in the triple combination. All of the rest of the distances have been left off the cards.
So when mapping this course out, you can really just design it to what's best for your horse, which is nice, right? Every horse is a little bit different. Some of these horses qualified, say, out of the small junior hunter division. You know, others are high performance hunters that jump the bigger jumps. I also thought it was interesting, you know, where again we're used to traditional derbies with some high options. You know, there are no high options. There's no high option bonus points, but all these jumps are big and solid, right? As you'd expect for $150,000. That was a great trip, and again, what I was told, these judges are now throwing scores pretty quickly, right? Moving on, they're not keeping a card for themselves. They're just putting scores out. You know, management's keeping track of the scores, so they can really just focus on the next performance. And then once those scores are set, next horse is out there. This thing's going to move.
And it is nice because the judges are allowed to give the same score, so they don't have to take the time. Is it 85.25? Is it 85.15? And with a class that has as many entries as this does, it is a little bit easier on the judges to concentrate more on what they're seeing in front of them than just the minutia of placing it here and there on their cards.
Well, I think too is like, you know, what's exciting as a rider, and that's to get a crowd behind you, right, and have people watching you. And with this thing moving so quickly, it's going to get exciting for people to watch. I know what I was told was that the first round is almost like a separate class, like $25,000 for the first round. And like you said, the judges can throw the same score because they're not going to look at cards and manage it that way. They're just going to watch a round, give a score, and move on. And then there are 5 judges in 5 different locations. If there are identical scores, then they will go down from Judge 1 to Judge 5 and break ties that way, is what I was told. And then when the second round happens, we're taking 12 back, right? Taking 12 backs, and the cool thing about this is clean slate, right? You could qualify in that 12th position, and you're in the same place as the leader from the first round. So I think, you know, all bets are off. People are going to take shots, and it's going to be a really exciting second round.
Well, it's nice talking to some of the riders, but after the riders meeting when they were going out to walk the course. In a traditional Hunter Classic, coming back to win from lower on the cards virtually impossible. You know, 6th, 7th place is the best you could ever consider. Coming back with a chance to win, even with everybody ahead of you having to make a pretty major error.
Well, sure, we've seen a lot of classes where the leader had such an advantage that they just cantered around and won the class, and it was a little bit anticlimactic. You're not going to have that today.
It's nice knowing everybody's got a chance coming back in the second round. Also, that even if with the top 20 getting placed with $25,000 on the line for just the first round, that you're a little freer to go to the second round knowing that worst case scenario, you do have a check coming to you.
You got money in your pocket already. So 136. So what they're basically doing is they're taking the 5 judges scores, right? They're dropping the high one, they're dropping the low one. So the 136 you're seeing are the 3 middle scores added together.
Again, in our second round, it's a fund distribution of $125,000 in the Haggard Hunter Grand Prix. Based in Lexington, just across the road, really. Here, the Institute offering us started qualifications unparalleled by any single non-university veterinary group in the equine industry. They have 13 board certifications in specialty areas of medicine, surgery, critical care, and ophthalmology.
Pat, do you have a running tally on our leaders to this point? Who's Again, I apologize to everybody listening. I just finished horse showing and came up here straight from the barn.
Right now, with the two, ironically enough, early on in the class, we do have a tie with 253 being our current leader. We'll work on the tiebreaker for you. Right now, our lead with the 253 is 1637. I'm sorry, my question, 1260. Yeah, 1637 decision made. And Emma Vandenhoek coming out of the junior hunters, and 1030 and 1063, which is going to be Gabriel and Victoria Colvin. Gabriel being a longtime mount of Victoria's.
Very nice. So next on course we have Kelly Farmer. No stranger to success in this ring in the hunters for sure. Success in every ring in this country in the hunters.
Her mount today is Knowingly coming out of the green 3'6" division, a newer horse for her that she started riding this winter in Florida.
It's kind of fun watching these hunters kind of read that first jump. That is very much a legitimate triple bar that you would normally see in a jumper class. It's definitely a new look for them, and they're all jumping it really well, but maybe just a little higher than they normally would.
It is a definite difference from the usual vertical that you see starting almost everything.
Right from the first jump, these horses know it's a little bit of a different class, right? And then the next test is here, right? A nice 2 to a 2 right by the stands. Should be inviting enough coming home.
With a good number of tests in the first half of the course between the triple bar coming down afterwards, getting into the combination to a nice big wall across the diagonal.
Well, they've opened this up, right? This during the normal week of showing here at Split Rock, was 2 actual rings, and with a fence dividing it and a waiting area here by the stand. So it's such a different look. It's got to take a moment for these horses, especially say a younger horse that does the 3-6 greens, to kind of take a breath and find itself. Kelly being a veteran did a great job, right? That's a beautiful round.
David Larry Lefty completing our Derek Braun, Skip Bailey, and Pat Boyle design course. It is really showcasing the brilliance of all these horses. What a fun course.
Another 253, is that what I just heard?
It is another 253.
Hard to believe, but we have another 253.
So when it comes down to it, when the class is over, what they're going to do is go judge to judge 1 through 5, and break ties based on the highest score from that particular judge. So if Judge 1 had this horse at a 87 and had the other horse at an 85, then obviously Judge 1's score would make this horse be ahead of the other one. So I said, we're all just sort of finding our way through this, but I think it's exciting.
It is going to be with scores from a 91 through an 80 across the spectrum. The 91 and the 80 obviously being the drop scores, but 83, 84, and 86 from the other respective judges.
And I think that, you know, the difference in the scores, I think these judges are spread out all around this Rolex ring. And the Rolex ring, if you've been here before, is a really big ring. So a lot of it's just about perspective, you know, how a horse jumped a particular jump from one vantage point to the other. I think that's how you see such a difference in scores.
And with as we have it set, we have panels 1 and 2 on the concourse side looking out. Panels 3 and 4 sitting on the lake side looking out, almost across from each other, but still with very, very good views. A little different, obviously, on either side, with the final judging panel coming at the end of the arena. See, it's almost, watching him jump the first fence, it's definitely a little different normally, as they kind of get almost that jumper look right into the base of it to get him to jump nicely over the triple bar.
So if you know me, Pat, you know I'm a little proud of where I'm from. So this is a Texas horse canting around the ring right now and actually doing a fantastic job. I've watched this horse a lot the last couple of years. Wins a lot. Just a beautiful jumper. And this moment's not too big for it. I think she's really laying one down, at least from what I've seen from my vantage point.
And based on what I'm hearing from outside, it seems like the crowd really likes that one as well.
And then a big applause for 10 Point Charlie coming home with Rory Caskey on behalf of Nora Caskey, coming out of our amateur owner 3-6 younger division. And waiting on our scores, a nice ride, and with our tie break, Kelly is going to be on top of those 2-5-3s. There is a tie break system, which would put Kelly as the lead 2-5.
Oh, with good scores coming in. 88, 82, 87, 85.
So you drop the high and the low, and I'm going to let you do the math for us, Pat.
260 points, that one just slides right into the lead. About 7 points ahead of the little bit of the bottleneck that we have sitting in second, third, and fourth with those ties.
I did mention that was a Texas horse, right, Pat?
It is very, very proudly to the Lone Star State.
To the top of the class.
Next one, graduate of Auburn University, a professional coming out of the ranks of the NCAA programs. It is nice to see this one qualifying out of the green, 3'9". A horse Haley's been competing with the last couple of years.
I think what's fun, like I can hear the music outside where we're sitting. I know from walking in here, there's a big exhibitor party happening below us, right? It's not exactly the same feeling you get from every Hunter Classic or even every International Derby that you've watched. Like I said, they're just kind of bringing rock and roll to the Hunter ring, and I think it's kind of fun to watch, something different.
I mean, it's a much more it's an old school feeling with the course and the decorations and the jumps that you're looking at, and nothing's crazy. No one's reinventing the wheel with what you're looking at, but it's the nice, very old-fashioned. But the music, the people, the pace that it's going at, it does seem like it's something that could stick in the future.
I know Derek was very proud of this concept. Obviously, very proud with the money he's giving to it, and how nice is that for the hunters? Right off the bat here, even in this first round, most people have gone around that green jump, right? Just trying to be a little bit more brilliant. It's good for that horse.
And it's nice that just allowing you to show off what you know your horse needs to do, as opposed to trying to guess what the judges are going to want or what's the track that you're supposed to be taking.
Very well done.
I would agree, and even it's nice watching after they jump the first fence. They're sort of forced to take that turn right there. It gives the horses something to look at.
Kind of feeds him into that next line. Again, as the horses are getting their bearings about them with the bigger ring and the crowd, it does sort of help them keep their focus.
16 at 216.
So that's from Haley Inotti, and that qualified from the green 3.9s, as did the next as well. Tim Gogan with Elgin Stables entry casual. It's in Oldenburg, 9-year-old by Van Gogh, and again qualified from the green 9s. Tim Gogan.
It's a big difference, the young up-and-coming professionals to someone that's been doing this at such a high level for his whole life.
I love watching Tim Gogan ride, and he's a horseman, right?
Oh.
And worked his whole life, right? Rode all different types of horses, and I don't know, it's just he gets the best out of every horse he rides.
And just, he's always had such a beautiful type. The horses that he's been on for as long as I can remember watching him ride always come to the ring spotless. Go by the barn, it's still very traditional. The wooden tack trunks, the drapes. It's what it was when I was a kid, and it's just such a nice thing to watch.
Well, that kind of stuff doesn't go out of style, right? Horsemanship and hard work. Yeah. Obviously, we're fans of Tim Gogan. So.
But it's that type, the hunter type that he's been riding for so long. Do you remember Safari?
Oh yeah.
I'll never forget watching that horse win the Hunter Spectacular as a first year, the first time we'd ever seen it done. Just under the lights against all the more experienced horses. And it's really nice to see Tim out here after the injury he had years ago and the rehab and everything that he's had to overcome to get back into the show ring. I think that's daunting for the rest of us on a good day, much less knowing that that's what it's going to have to be going forward.
Yeah, it's not hard to root for Tim because he has had some time off from that injury. I don't know. I just love the style. Like I said, just very, very old school, really about bringing the best performance out of his horse. They relax under that, and he really just gets a great jump. Little bit of maybe a late change after the first jump. I'm sure that's going to reflect in the scores. But the more this horse has jumped, the more it's relaxed. And as you would expect, with Tim in the irons, just getting better and better.
And this is still somewhat of a young horse coming out of the green 3'9" divisions.
Well, again, we'll see where those scores are, but if Tim finds himself in that top 12 that comes back in the second round, that slightly late lead change after the first jump, it's a race. You're head to head, and it's a clean slate. So, that horse got into this ring, got some good jumps, got some confidence. If he comes back, Tim can take a shot with it, which I think is kind of fun for this, right? You're coming back 12th, lay out all the stops, give it your best shot, you can still win this class.
Well, and it's just such a different strategy than what you're normally used to. Normally, if you're not in that top 5 or 6, oftentimes you're just hunting for a good checker to try and get some good experience out of your horse in a night class or in such a different atmosphere. But then being able to come back with, look, I just got to make it. And that even changes your strategy going into the class. You don't necessarily have to take the risks in that first round.
Right, for sure.
And Tim with the 235, they didn't punish him too badly. The high of 81, low of 74. It's that 78, 80, 77 range. Nick Hannes coming all the way from the West Coast here with this one.
I think Nick coming from a very successful week at Devon, showing in the professional divisions. I guess it's kind of on the way home.
And he was able to bring some amateur riders. He's done some catch riding this week. Last week he did very well in the Green Incentive regional classes that we had here, 3 of the 12 for the regional. Diplomat coming in out of the high performance division, which is a little different. These guys are normally used to jumping the 4-foot, and competing with the 3-6 horses, but still showing quite nicely.
Yeah, I had a high performance horse this week, and so I got the pleasure of watching this horse go around, and you just talk about a great athlete and scope for days. I mean, it was just really fun watching Nick ride it and jump in those bigger jumps. But like you said, you could have a horse like that would get maybe a little bit plain over something smaller, but that's not the case here. And a lot of the credit goes to Nick and the horse. A lot of the credit goes to Skip Bailey, who's built some beautiful jumps that gets their attention.
Did he do 7 there?
He did. But that's what we were talking about. That is showing this horse off beautifully. That was a fantastic trip. But I don't think there's a set number there, and they specifically didn't have anything written out on the course sheet. That was what was best for that horse. He jumped those jumps beautifully. I think he's going to get rewarded for it.
And rewarded he will be. Looks like that will go right to the top. 92 being the high score. The drop score was just an 85. The scores being tallied 88, 91, 90. The judges very much liking that horse. It is an interesting thing to look at. From our vantage point, we're able to see still pretty clearly the tracks all the horses are taking on the freshly groomed arena, that you can see all of the lines. It's not a single track they're taking. Everyone's a little wide here, a little tight there. This next one up, Sheila Motley and Willing, very, very successful over the winter. I believe might have been circuit champion in Wellington, possibly reserve circuit champion, coming in out of the amateur owner 3'6" divisions.
Trained by Larry Glefke. I saw Larry as I was walking in here. Nobody gets more excited about the big stage than Larry, huh?
No, I was sitting next to him watching him with some rounds first thing this morning, and the whoop is still what I remember. Right, a really nice direct line on that.
As I say, even right from the start, 2 to 3, when I was walking the course, I heard riders throw a lot of different numbers there, and she just drew a straight line and kept galloping, and the horse jumped it beautifully. Good through the 2 to the 2, yeah, Pat? A little obstructed in my view there, but
no, it went right down the center. And Sheila's always been just a competitor as an amateur, winning at all levels, at all ages. It's like he backed off that one a little bit, but she rode through really nicely.
really well done.
Clearly hearing Larry.
Larry liked it.
Even through the glass.
And earphones.
Wrapping it up with Sheila Motley. Nice ride. Willing has had a great show as well with Sheila.
Then the judges liked it as well, sliding into second place. 89, 86 being the drop scores, 88, 87, 87. The judges very consistent in what they feel on that.
Christopher spotting it now.
This is a one that they've had since, I believe, since it was a pre-green horse, Rain, coming in out of the green, 3'9", but it's been a mount that Chris has had, I think, at least 3 years now.
Talking about a type that Tebow has, a style that he every horse. The one is more beautiful than the next. It's absolutely gorgeous. So beautiful. So well
trained. And a consistent group with the confirmation hunters, and you can see that the grooms take that sort of care of all of the horses. The shine, the glisten.
Great.
A little bit of a tidy turn around that first fence. These guys have gone a little bit up stride.
such a quiet rider. Just focus on how the horse is going. Never in the way. Very accurate.
And it is nice to see that you really haven't had only 2 rails in the whole class so far. You're looking at, there isn't a bogey fence, there isn't a, you don't see something where the course designer's gone almost a little spectacular on really trying to overdo the course. It's just that nice, easy flowing movement.
But I feel like that's a little bit skip style. Beautiful trick. Just don't want to take away from it. Absolutely beautiful. But that's a lot of skip style, and you can see Pat Boyle signature on the course too. You know, all week riding the Hunter Ring, horses wanted to jump, right? They got the attention. They got a great jump out of them just with all the material these guys use. This ring looks absolutely beautiful.
Sliding into second place, 266. Good scores all the way across. 92, 85 on the drops, and 87, 89, 90.
Some really, really good scores coming through. They really are with Christopher Payne's score there, as Tim mentions, into second. Augusta Iwasaki has a couple of entries in this, and this is Iwasaki and Riley's Small Love. That's the name of the Hanoverian by Chateau B.
Augusta Iwasaki are next one up with Small Love, a horse that she's been showing for a couple of years now. Qualified this out of the older, large 3'6" juniors. And just one of my favorite kids to watch ride.
Just a good human being. She rode a horse for me this spring. She just has such a great feel. Does a lot of catch riding for a lot of top professionals. You know, rides a lot of different types with a lot of different instruction. Just really does a fantastic job everywhere she goes.
It's a very, very fine line between having the feel that she has and being able to accept instruction as a catch rider from a lot of different people. It's got to be difficult, especially as a kid, doing the jumpers, doing the equitation, doing the hunters, riding for so many different people.
Yeah, she's everywhere, right? In every ring and winning in every ring.
And has been since she was a little kid in the ponies, spending a lot of time on the East Coast now from California. She kind of talked about when she first came across, coming to Wellington for the first time, the difficulty in every round has to be perfect. There's such good competition, and you can just see how much time she's spent in the ring consistently and what it's shown off for her.
Yeah, coming home there is Small Love with Augusta Iwasaki. Iwasaki and Riley are the owners.
Yeah.
And total there will be
The best round out for that one, 68, 77 being the high and the low, 73, 75, 72. Kind of.
I think a little bit, like it just a little bit rough to start, you know. Augusta kind of helped it around a little bit, settled it in, but I think again, just walking into this ring, it's a completely different look than we've had for 2 weeks with a nice crowd. You know, I think she did a good job keeping it together. I think the scores reflect sort of the beginning of the course.
I think it's Olivia Sweetenham up next. Nightfall. This one comes out of the wild card, which means she was one of 2 wild cards. Each week was given the high score for the non-qualifying horse was given the wild card, which this might be one of the biggest classes Olivia's ever ridden in. She's just out of the ponies third. I think 13, maybe just turned 14.
But with good success, and obviously out of a great program with her parents and, you know, Danny and Jenna. She's been going to Florida since she was an infant and showing it at quality horse shows, and she's well mounted. You know, I mean, not only great instruction, but I watched her ride a bunch this week. I would say wise beyond her years, right? She
just coming off a great Devon.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you've done this a lot or if you've done it a little. You walk into this ring with this crowd, and for $150,000, I think even the cagiest veteran's got to have his heart in his throat just a little bit, right?
Yep, there's not a lot of riders out here that can just come in cool as a cucumber.
Really well done.
I will say for her age, coming in at $150,000 Hunter Classic, very consistent scores, 235. Joining in, 79, 78, 76, 78. Very, very consistent scores.
And with our tiebreaker, 10-15 will be the higher of the 235. Nightfall, Olivia Sweet, 235.
Well, we are just around at the halfway stage, and the best score we've seen so far is 269 from Nick Harris and Diplomat. A lot still to play for. It is the top 12.
And this next one coming in is going to be a move-up. This is Greg Krolik and his mount Chappie. Chappie had a really good last week, qualified very well in the USHA Hunter Derby, had a little green moment coming into the Derby, but it's been a very, very good horse for Greg coming out of the green 3'9" divisions. Another rider who over the last 5 or 6 years has just produced a string of very, very nice horses.
He's winning everywhere. Coming off the left lead to the first jump, right? But again, you have that option. It's not set in stone, and that's how he thought his horse was going to jump the first jump the best, right?
And it was the right choice. That was beautiful.
You see a lot of these horses in a couple of months, probably at Derby finals, and how great to be able to bring these horses into this ring with this environment, you know, much less for this kind of money. Just a great experience.
Yeah, when talking to Greg over the winter, this class was something he was setting his sights on.
Horse jump beautifully.
I think that's going to be some very, very good scores. The crowd certainly likes it. And it's good for Greg. He's been dealing with a lot of back issues this week. We went by and saw him on the Magna Wave earlier in the week.
And they have had a great show. There's so much talent here, folks.
For the score to see them through to the top 12.
And let's say Greg did move up. That's where she qualified this one out of. Taking a little look at that first fence before she gets in here.
It's a little substantial, right? It's funny because when I came out here to walk this course, I was running around and training horses, but I wanted to get an eye on it before we started, and I saw the triple bar, and I thought, oh, what a great jump, how cool that is. No idea it was the first jump, right? Figured maybe you'd put that somewhere in the middle, let the horses settle into some point, right? That's a lot to ask. You got a little bit of nerves in your system. Got to pick up a canter and go right down to a pretty wide triple bar to start with, right?
I took one look at it, and the first thing I thought is, what a great finishing fence. what a great one to end over. You come out with a nice long hang gallop.
It's brilliant, yeah. Instead, it's the first jump, so going to test your nerves right off the bat.
But it is nice that you get to come out, and instead of coming to that vertical, that you just get to come out of the corner and just pick up that hand gallop. Let your horse side in on a nice big jump. Not nervy at all, right off the bat.
I don't know, like the triple combination you don't see very often. Again, maybe sometimes in Derby finals and whatnot. But these horses are so used to seeing different questions because of the handies and because of the derbies that they do that every horse has jumped through there beautifully, right? And okay, kind of skip to have it coming home, right? It encourages the horses, but I mean, I haven't seen one horse really have a concern about it, and they've all jumped nicely through it.
Oh, did the back rail come down?
I think that it did.
Yeah, it
that's
looks like it.
unfortunate.
Yeah, here comes Unlimited. Isabella Fabrizi has the ride. Fabrizi equine, and I do believe they're railed down.
It's a little too bad. I don't think Isabella's done many classes. This might be one of. Eyes might be a little wide coming in.
I think you're probably out in that schooling area, and you see Haven Schott and Tim Gogan and Tori Colvin. If you weren't nervous, you might be nervous after that. She handled it really well. A little bit of bad luck at the second to last jump.
Well, it's kind of a nice bit of mileage for these kids, knowing that one of the few occasions that they have that they really can come out after having to fight and win and qualify, that they have a chance against some of the people they grew up watching as a rider.
When I tell my kids too, like the kids that I train, like every time you can go in the ring and have some nerves, right? Have your heart in your throat and be a little bit intimidated and you ride as well as she just did. Like, you get something from it. We're not going to see her in the second round. But that was solid, right? She's going to be very confident the next time she finds herself in this situation.
Coming out this one up next, Jordan Gibbs and her horse 5 Star out of the younger junior hunters. Had a very, very good Florida. Champion a number of times in the junior hunters in Wellington.
Jordan rides with Stacia Madden. Beacon Hill. Saw Stacia earlier today. She's got her whole barn here. But you know, these horses are ready for this class. They're hard workers over there.
Well, and Stacia's really one of the best in the business in preparing her kids for a class and what to expect and how to handle the pressure. And Jordan commuting all the way from Colorado to train and ride with Stacia in Beacon Hill.
Right now our cutoff is 230 or better for our top 12. You got a score of 230 or better.
Waiting on scores for Jordan.
247, kind of upper middle of the pack right there. 87 her high score, 81 her low, 82, 82, 83. Very consistent amongst the judging panel that we're keeping.
Consistent scores for a very consistent round, right? That was very pleasant, very nice horse, great expression.
Lindsay Maxwell, all the way from Southern California, Beverly Hills, I believe.
Rides with Nick Hannes, right?
Yeah, rides with Archie Cox and Nick Hannes. And I do believe she originally bought this horse as a jumper to do.
Handle all these questions, you know, that are jumper oriented. And I feel like talking to Derek Braun earlier about his inspiration for this class, right? He wants to bring that element to it, right? The Hunter Prix, just like the Grand Prix show jumping, just like the Grand Prix Formula One, right? It's the top of the sport. easy through the 2. And you just wanted it to be different, right? A different feel, a different style of course.
Well, and it was. I asked because I initially said, like, Hunter Grand Prix, for me, maybe it was just the terminology I felt was a little different. And Derek laughingly tells me to look up the definition of Grand Prix.
Yes, he told me the same thing. Yep.
As I said, that sounds, sounds a little bit like the jumper guy saying, I'm gonna have a 100 Grand Prix. And then, much to my chagrin, he trumps me with the definition of the class being far more appropriate.
Coming home now, Lindsay Maxwell is the owner rounder. Lindsay's had a fantastic show here. Split rock under jumper. And her horses herself, Mr. Hannes, they've just been doing great. And they're going to pick up a score there, 246. 246.
246, score 79, 85 was the drops, and then 83, 84, and 79 the scores we kept. Definitely no stranger. Definitely no stranger to riding in a big class. This is one of her younger horses coming out of the 3-6 greens. Jumped out really nicely.
Great start for this horse, huh?
Horses just like her ride. Another one of those kids that just catch rode absolutely everything.
So many of these people plan their year around this horse show. And once they heard about this class and the money that was given by Derek Braun and Split Rock,
when he announced it in the winter, it was definitely the talk at the Hunter Rings.
No surprise there. Beautiful trip for Coleman.
Here comes Massima coming home with Victoria Coleman, Victoria's second ride, and that's one of the limitations of this great format here. You can only bring back two. Karen Miller Cruz is the owner.
At 258, right up there in the scores.
So they're only bringing 12 back for the second round, but the first round does pay to 20th position.
$25,000 through 20th position. Tori with some very consistent scores, 82 and 90 the drop scores, 86, 86, 86 from the three remaining in the panels.
What position does that put her into?
That 258 is going to go into Looks like right about into 5th place right now. Probably a pretty good chance coming back with those scores.
Abigail Funk trots into the ring.
The Kingsley would be her confirmation horse that she's been showing this year, green confirmation.
I watched it show this week. She won quite a few classes, and it might have been champion or reserve in that division this week as well. So, likes this ring. Abby also a professional's child, so she's been in this business and around this business her whole life. And it definitely reflects in her riding. Helped Abby when she was a little kid in the jumpers when she just first started doing it. She was so fun to help because she wanted to learn, but even more she wanted to win, right? You could just tell her to do anything in that jump ring. She was going to give it a try. So she brings that same kind of attitude to the hunter rinks as well.
It's funny just remembering her showing at the Littlewood grounds, maybe 7 years old in the 11 and under equitation, like just easily the littlest one out there at her age.
Just a little bit of a green moment for this horse late in the course.
Yeah.
A little bit surprising, right? You maybe would expect that early in the course while the horse is still looking around, a little bright-eyed. But it's a big ring, and they can get lost a little bit.
Well, and you're coming around the corner of the crowd, everybody watching from the hillside.
It's too bad. Otherwise, really beautiful trip.
Yeah, and unfortunately the scores do show the late change.
And the score there will be a 197, and our cutoff right now 246. Unfortunately, 197 doesn't mean
Yeah, the best 12 will return for the second round. They'll come back in reverse order of merit, but they will start with a clean slate. On to Joey.
Another rider out of Beacon Hill, qualified out of the junior hunters. Joey out of the older largest with this one. So Stacia with a couple of these guys here this week.
No surprise.
Three of the 8. Ooh, jumped
what
that.
A great first jump. I just picked up a brilliant canter and just galloped at that knowing he was going to find it. That was fantastic to watch.
He's done some stirrupless work. He held on pretty well on that triple bar. Just another one that just goes down that triple combination very light and very nicely. Even though the hunters, I remember the last time I think I saw that. Was Derby Finals the last time you saw it? Did we see a triple combination?
So. That's the only time I've ever seen was at Derby Finals.
It does seem something that would be definitely a Derby Finals.
But again, for this kind of money, how about have some different tests, right? Ask some different questions. They've all handled it beautifully. I like that trip a lot.
Dan Cascatero with the fan club for sure, coming home with Joey Roman. This is our 23rd to see it right now. Our cutoff is at 246 or better. And that score will be 252 for Cascatero.
252 points. 84, 84, 84 very consistent with the judges, kept 85 and 75 our drop scores.
I just love to see these riders when they're leaving the ring and they're petting their horses and appreciating the effort that they just got.
Another rider out of our junior ranks.
Shiloh Roseboom. Yep, rides with Nicole Shahanian Simpson.
Oh. Nicole reminding everybody that she was a very successful hunter rider.
Oh, yeah, one of the best, right, out of California.
Her name on the trophies at Devon, just a couple of places. Watching so many hunter classes over the years, it's different with the music. You're kind of like listening to the music as you're kind of counting the strides and seeing the horse's rhythm. I'd be interested to hear what the riders say, if any of them are noticing the music and the difference in what they would normally get as they're cantering around.
Well, you're so used to being, like, you can hear a pin drop when the hunters are going around. And I think so when a pin does drop, like, you sometimes get a reaction from your horse. Like, the music is loud and it creates this great environment. And I think it's making these horses jump beautifully. Great trip. But these kids, great scores here, yeah.
Oh, scores coming in really nice so far. 259. She's getting right up in there with those scores. Looking at 89, 87, 83, the keep scores, 90 and 82.5.
Yeah, but it all fit, right? Picked up a beautiful gallop to start with. Never changed that. Horse jumped the same everywhere.
Well, after 26 have gone, the judges are starting to have a pretty good idea of what they're looking for, what they want to see.
Well, that's true too, right? As much as we're trying to find our way through this is a different format for the judges too, and I think they're going to like it. You know, I think just being able to watch a trip, not have to worry about comparing it to everybody in the ring, and just being able to throw a score that it feels like to you, right? And not having to worry about where it fits. You know, letting that find its way out of that with the different judges. I think they've got to be enjoying it.
I agree. In our meeting with the officials, they were all very surprised initially with how we wanted the class scored, and to throw the score that they think and not worry about up or down a little bit, and just give the score with the 5-panel.
Yeah, if they've already thrown an 87, you know, being worried about throwing another 87. No, if you liked it and you want to give it a good score and it matches somebody else, then fine, right? That's going to sort itself out.
Yeah, and it works out so nicely that they don't have to stop and weigh that, just those little minutiae, that they can just concentrate on what they're doing, and they don't. Each trip gets their undivided attention.
Tim Gogan back in the ring.
Perhaps a horse that he's been showing for a little bit. This one coming out of the High Performance Hunters.
Just a masterful trip there from Tim Dogan.
And it being a little advantage of it being the second horse he's qualified. He's gotten a little more an idea of what he wanted to do, how he wanted to attack it.
Yeah, and again, a horse that came from the high performance division, so jumping bigger jumps.
That one right around in the 7th place.
Yeah, really good scores. And with only 10 left, Tim's going to get a check at least, and hopefully we see him in that second round of the top 12. Right? Paying to 20th in the first round, taking the top 12 back for a clean slate second round.
Our next one up, Christian Good, newly relocated to the U.S. from Canada. Jumped that very nicely. Christian was a professional out of the Toronto area, now working with Chris Payne and Dave Belford at New Hope Stables. Looked pretty good to me.
Yeah, very solid trip. Very solid trip. Out of the 3-6 performance division, I'm assuming an old horse, right? Horse has been around, not a green hunter. Acted like it.
Representing Sorensen Stables, they've had a great Split Rock horse show, week 1 and 2. Yeah, we got a score there of 255 to 5.
Well, it's like sliding into 9th place, 255 points. 89, 82 the drop scores, 82, 86, 87 are keepers.
Still quite a few to go in it. Kelly Farmer, in fact, joins us with horse that qualified in the high performance. It's the on by Alvaretto. Meaningful for Kelly Farmer.
This is a high performance hunter that Kelly's been showing for a couple years. Meaningful. And also this is Kelly's second horse coming in, so she will have a little idea of what she wants to do after having jumped it through once.
Not that I imagine Kelly experiences nerves, but there is a great advantage to being around here once before, right? And seeing how the jumps show themselves, how a couple of the related lines ride for you. And if there was a little bit of nerves, probably by the second one you've settled down.
The number of times she's ridden in this ring, the number of good trips she's put down in this ring. Makes it a little easier. Always liked Kelly's forward ride, kind of coming out of the corners.
Always galloping, right? Always galloping. Always going for it, too.
Definitely an aggressive style.
7, right?
Ooh,
Same one
wow,
we saw
yeah.
with Nick. Wow, that was beautiful.
Yeah, definitely did the 7 and the 8 where most people have been doing the 8 and the 9.
We close there for meaningful, and Kelly Farmer representing Emma Vandenhelm. Kelly's got one through, Emma's got one through too at this point.
Looks like coming in pretty nicely so far, already with 89, 89, 93, 92, 90, 271, taking the lead.
Yeah.
Judges really liked that nice forward open canner.
Did she just supplant Nick? Was Nick leading? So now Nick walks in the ring. So next up, I'm sure that's going to motivate him a little bit. I think both Kelly and Nick, I love the way they ride hunters because, like you said, they just gallop the jumps, right? They give their horses every chance to jump brilliantly because of the pace they carry.
That almost the old American jumping style, the 3-point position, forward.
Nick wins everywhere he goes. I guarantee you, trotting in here and hearing that Kelly had taken over first gave him that little bit of extra motivation.
So also taking the strong.
Really, really good trip.
A younger horse coming out of the green 3'6". Ooh, he was close. Just a point behind Kelly. Nick now sitting second and third.
Well, guaranteed a spot in the second round. That'll be fun to watch him. He doesn't leave anything to chance.
Yeah.
Definitely going to go for it. And Kelly. This is going to be a great second round.
So right now, 90 averages are right about that first, second, third range. Now this one's one that Greg has definitely been on and known. Poire is a horse he's had for a little bit. Ridden in a lot of big classes. The hunter guy from Wellington, here's everybody pronouncing it. curious as we get later into the class, as the judges have started to throw some high scores for the nice open gallop, if that's starting to change people's game plan, seeing where the scores have came from. .255, right in there at 11th place. The tiebreakers are gonna start to get pretty important coming up here.
Yep, winding down that first round of the class, right on the bubble for Greg to make it into the second round. Good position to get a check. Top 20 making money. Top 12 moving on to the second round. Back in the ring, Augusta Iwasaki. Again, you do this long enough. You know, we're perched up here pretty far away, but just when she picks the canter up, you know exactly who it is, right? She definitely, even at her young age, has her own style.
And this is a new mount for her this year. Just started showing this horse late February. Little bit of a green moment. That is a younger horse.
Yeah, she pulled it together. Like he just came out with a lot of horse out of the combination coming home, and just had some ideas about going around that material. But Augusta got it put back together and covered it pretty well.
The scores coming in 75, 75, 82, 86, 78.
Like you said, new horse for her. A little bit of a bobble out of the two reflects in those scores kind of across the board. Six remaining in the first round of the inaugural Hunter Prix here at Split Rock Horse Show in Kentucky.
Now, second one qualified by Olivia Sweeten. I'm curious how she's going to do as well.
A very solid trip from Olivia there, I thought.
Yeah, scores coming in 81, 81, 83, 83, 87. At 247 totals, not quite going to make it into the second round, but we'll be getting a check.
So not quite enough for the top 12, which will return for that second round. And again, for the second round, they're going to come back in reverse order of merit for the first round. But they will start with a clean slate. It's going to be all about the top 12 and then all about those clean slates coming back for round number 2. Just 5 remain in the first round of the $150,000 Hunter Grand Prix here at the Split Rock Jumping Tour. Hunter Jumper week number 2. What a great format this is, it really is. One that qualified for the amateur owner 3'6" division is Lindsay
Back in the ring is Lindsay Maxwell.
Sunset Boulevard. 1093, Lindsay Maxwell.
And talking to Lindsay earlier in the week, she did say this class specifically was on her list of goals and the reason why she came here all the way from California this week.
This horse is Sunset Boulevard, also qualifying out of the 3-6 Amateur Hunter Division. I guess that's something we haven't really touched on is you had to qualify to get into this class, right? It wasn't just open to everybody. So these horses that you're seeing were successful these 2 weeks at Split Rock. They've been going well. You had to either be champion or reserve in your division. Each rider had the opportunity to ride 2 horses in this. So if you qualified more than 2 horses, then they went down the list. But like I said, these horses have all been either champion or reserve in most of their divisions and have had a great 2 weeks to start with. So no wonder we've been seeing so many good scores.
Well, and it's nice to see that with having to be a champion, you know, you have to set a goal. It adds a little bit of tension. You can't go, you know, it's not just another horse show. You know what you have to do to get into this class, and just adds that pressure not just for this class, but for all week.
That's a really good point. Love this expression on this horse, right? Ears are always forward. Going to the next jump. Just never changes expression.
Coming home now, Sunset Boulevard with Lindsay Maxwell. Lindsay just had a great Split Rock. Week 2 horse short, got great horses. She's standing 3rd right now overall with her horse Diplomat
And a very good, very widespread of scores. The 85 and the 68, the drop scores, with 76, 79, and 82. 21st place it's going to be right now.
Again, just kind of touch a little bit about perspective. Like we're up here. We have a little bit of an obstructive view of the triple combination coming home, and that's where you get the discrepancy in scores sometimes, right? Based on where the judges are sitting and what they can see.
Which is, in my opinion, just why I like so much how we have the judges set up with all over the ring. There's very little space in the ring that something can't be missed by the judges.
Another student of Beacon Hill here.
Might be our youngest rider. Might be our youngest rider tonight. Rylan Conway and Symbolic coming in out of the younger 3'6" junior hunters.
Riding Symbolic. This horse has kind of been there, done that. Has brought a lot of experience to a lot of different junior riders. International Derby wins.
This is imported by Lane Change with Larry Gleffy, correct?
I believe so, yeah. Little bit of a loose jump there at the brush jump. Again, kind of open to interpretation a little bit from the judges. We'll see what they thought about that. Some might like how bold it was. You know, it was very brilliant across the middle of the ring.
Like the aggressiveness down the outside line.
Just another big class for Symbolic. Just another day at the office. Scores coming in now, 245.
Yeah. 84 the high, 76 the low. Right now with Kelly first, Nick second and third.
Yep. Chris Payne sitting fourth and coming into the ring now.
Can a horse out of the 3-6 performance. Chris, I believe Chris was qualified the most horses. I think I saw he had 5 horses qualified.
Well, they're based from just around here, right, too? And have
Cincinnati.
Have a great program. Not surprised by that. I wonder how you choose that. It was like picking your favorite kid. Like I don't know how you decide what horses you ride with as many good horses as Chris has in his stable. I think sitting fourth right now. So looks like his decisions have been pretty good. He'll be a little bit playful, right? Like that doesn't really offend me. You know, like I say, I like horses that like their jobs, you know, and if that horse liked that effort he gave over that oxer and wanted to play a little bit, like it's not going to offend me. I mean, there's a line at some point that it can cross, but, you know, I like the fact that it enjoys its job.
Well, and going back to the older feel of the class, you know, where the judge is going to draw the line on kind of what you would have seen in the 70s and 80s with the shake and tail around the corner, and the horse might play a little bit during a lead change.
I don't know if any horse jumped the brush jump better than that horse just did.
That looked beautiful. I'd be curious where the judges bring this one with.
It's just jumping unbelievably now. Well, we'll see where it ends up, but that was fun to watch.
It might have been the best last 4 jumps in the course we've seen so far. A little bit of a mix in scores, 79 from Judge 1, 84, Judge 2. Judges 4 and 5, 87, 85, 93 from Judge 3, 256. It's like right on the edge right now. But it is nice.
So the 3 scores that counted were what then?
The 3 scores being 84, 87, 85.
Very nice. And that's on the bubble for the second round. Bring your A game. That horse was so fun to watch. So I hope he makes a second round. And again, we've said it a couple times. Second round is a clean slate, right? Probably got a little bit penalized for the playfulness after the 3rd jump. But if that horse comes back for the second round, look out, because it jumped the last 4 jumps as well as any horse in the class.
Well, in the second course, a little bit of a shorter round, a little bit more opportunity to gallop. A lot of, surprisingly enough, a few longer gallops towards some of the fences.
Is it just 8 jumps?
9
jumps in the second round. Yeah.
And this is going to be Sheila Motley's second horse qualified out of the older amateur owner hunters. Another mount that she's been showing very consistently throughout the year. Tricolors almost everywhere she's been. And this may be the second one coming off the left lead.
Yep, sure is. It is nice having that that barrier, that fence there after the first jump, because I've always found, like, riding in a big field or in a bigger ring, sometimes the lead changes can be a little bit tough, right? There's all that expanse on the backside of the jump. It's hard to get their focus and attention on a lead change. So there, it kind of does sort of help to set them up, and kind of creates a fair situation for these horses.
I'd be curious to see if backing them off a little bit as they're cantering down to that big triple bar, they do see that fence right behind them. Sheila also out of Lane Change Farms with Larry Glefke and Kelly. That similar forward ride that Kelly and Larry both have loved. A distinctive sound.
Larry likes it. We can hear Larry and we can hear the music. You know, one thing that we can't hear being up where we are the rubs. And I also think it's interesting with the music playing, and because I think rubs can be a big factor in the 100 divisions, obviously. But can the judges, you know, hear the tick, or do you actually have to see the rail move?
250. Ooh. The tiebreaker is going to be coming into effect, coming down the line with. That's another 256. Chris had a 256 as well. Looks like they might have the tiebreaker. Scores 84, 87, 88, 85, 84. But importantly, that Judge 1 tiebreaker might be coming into play.
And do you see who Judge 1, what score they got? I don't have a computer in front of me, so I'm relying on Pat on all this stuff.
Chris had the 79 from Judge 1, which was his drop score. Sheila had the 84, which was her third high score.
So in this situation, then Sheila, if it all came down to it, would get the nod, just because of the score from Judge 1.
So Chris might be on the bubble with that one.
It's our last horse in the ring, right, Pat?
Mm-hmm.
This is Georgia Schmidt riding with Tim and Kelly Gogan.
You can sort of see Tim's type in the horse. So one interesting part of this format, on the planning aspect of it, is in a typical Grand Prix, you know, you would see the riders come back in order regardless, with sometimes you might have, in the rare instance, a back-to-back.
Say based off of order, right? So you will actually be slotted based on your first round scores.
Yep. We will have to do a little adjustment with, you know, Nick sitting very close together with his high up. He'll end up moving up a little bit on that on his third place horse.
A very solid trip. I think she's going to be happy with that. Not positive it's going to make it into that second round. Might get a check being top 20.
So scores starting to come in. 76, 82, 75, 81. A good round. Nothing you shouldn't be happy with, but just not quite enough to get in.
So again, just to explain to our audience and to remind myself, so first round is over, okay? $25,000 being awarded for this first round to the top 20 horses in order based on their scores. Then we're going to bring 12 back for $125,000, and all of those horses are going to start with a clean slate. So you can come back 12. Maybe you didn't get big money in the first round, but you can
Just-
leave it all out there and come away with the lion's share of $125,000. I love that, right? That just keeps everybody on the edge of their seats.
You just got to get in. Everybody's got a chance. There's no one that's out of it. You can come in, lay down as aggressive ride as you want, coming in 12th place, come back first.
Such a great concept, right? Just kind of keeps everybody in it, and now these people can assess how they're going to ride based off of how their horses felt in the first round. Maybe, I guess, where they go in the second round and know what they've got to beat. I think it's going to be some pretty exciting riding from people like Kelly Farmer and Nick Hannes and Tim Gogan and Chris Payne.
So it looks like our tally, Kelly Farmer with Meaningful is going to be our leader with 271, Nick Hannes and Jenkins with second, Nick Hannes and Diplomat third, all very tight. Chris Payne and Greg Krolik sitting fourth and fifth. Sheila Motley with Willing out of the amateur ranks. Rory Kasky in Checkpoint. Shiloh Rosenblum.
From Texas.
From Texas, just in case.
Just in
Shiloh
case you missed that when they were
Rosenblum,
going
likely
around.
story in eighth, so a couple of juniors coming in. Victoria Colvin qualifying ninth with Mastermind. Tim Gogan also in, looks like the lower of the 258s. So once again, Judge 1 being our tiebreaker, so 9th and 10th. One of the few ties we have so far coming in. And then we did end up with the two ties coming in, the 260 or the 256s. Sheila Motley with a second as an amateur. That's not a bad feat. Getting two in of our top 12. And Chris Payne also with his second horse.
So I'm excited about that. That's one that jumped so well at the end, right? And so now he's going to come back first in this second round, and his horse jumped beautifully. I think the scores reflected just a little bit of playfulness from the horse early in the course. The horse jumped so well at the end. Christopher, he's going to just come in here and lay it all out here first into the ring.
I mean, that little bit of gamesmanship, if you come in early, knowing you're going early, normally in the 100 class, you'd have to really come out to have a chance of moving too far up the leaderboard. But with this, your horse went well towards the second half of the course. You go in, lay down a beautiful round, and now all of a sudden everyone, like the jumpers, everyone realizes this is what it's going to take to beat you.
Yeah, he'll be as confident as anybody, right? Like, he doesn't have to make up 25 points that he's behind. You know, he's on equal ground with everybody, so.
Well, and it's a different one, too, with the hunters. Normally you can come back with a little bit of a lead. You've got a cushion. You know you maybe don't have to throw your best ride in. But now it's anybody's game. I'm curious to see how some of the riders that haven't done jumpers extensively adapt a little bit to knowing their usual cushion's no longer there.
Well, we're set to make ready for the second round. There's 12 coming back. We have had to pull forward momentarily. A couple of double rides, so we'll split those up as well. We're doing that one of them, and we have those short. We have to say again a huge thank you indeed to Haggard, our sponsor for the $150,000 Hunter Grand Prix. More than 60 veterinarians, 145 years of history at Haggard. Haggard Equine Medical Institute really is the oldest and one of the largest private equine veterinary practices in the world. It is based, as you know, here in Lexington, Kentucky. The Institute offering staff with qualifications unparalleled by any single non-university veterinary group in the equine industry. 13 board certifications in speciality areas. The facility is located across the street from the Kentucky Horse Park and it boasts superior ambulatory services, the world-renowned Davidson Surgery Centre, the key medicine and fertility centres, the Haggard Laboratory and Haggard Sports and Medicine Centre, as well as equine rescue services. A little later on, we will be thrilled and delighted to welcome 4 of the doctors from the Haggard series coming back for the presentation, and very much look forward to that. But we do look forward to the round number 2, where we are going to see the best 12 from the first round fight it out for the bulk of that second round prize money, $125,000. From the first round, it is $25,000 fund, and the money placing is going down to 20th place, receiving $125, and the winner from that first round receiving $5,000. For the second round, $37,500 for the winner, and $2,500 to 12th place. Thank you to Haggard, thank you to our title sponsor here at the Split Rock Jumping Tour and to Jumping Tournament. The Garnet Diamonds, proud to be that title sponsor once again. Their worldwide connections procuring the rarest, most unique and largest stones, and enabling that company to offer an unmatched inventory of elegant, wearable works of art. And that includes that unique line of equestrian-inspired pieces. They have their stall in the Jumper VIP area during the show, or alternatively...
Okay, everybody, we're back. Sorry for that little delay. A little drag break, getting the ring set up in the second round. Very exciting second round. So, first horse is walking up. Pat?
And
I like that's going to be Chris Payne. This is going to be my horse.
Yeah.
I know he's coming from the 12th position, but again, we got a clean slate going on. I loved how this horse jumped at the end. If it is Chris Payne, we can't see the end gate, but if it is Chris Payne, I'm liking this horse's chances.
And I mean, you got to watch out. Tori Colvin's in here. She's cold-blooded coming for that second round. Chris Payne, Nick with 2, not to be left out. But I just loved how Chris's horse finished the course.
Well, I don't want to pick anybody because I love all these people and their horses are great. But I'm excited about watching Chris Payne and this horse that's about to walk in the ring, coming in with their clean slate. And I'm very excited about how Nick's horses jump. He's sitting in second and third. So I think we're going to have a really exciting second round. Top 12 coming back, clean slate. Shortened course. Not exactly a handy, still a classic second round. So again, open to interpretation. You know, I think the riders are going to be a little bit handy. I think they're going to gallop. I think you're going to see some inside turns, but it's more of a classic second round horse. Shortened, 9 jumps only, long gallop to the last jump.
Which I will say, that's as a preference from someone who's watched for years. I like the derbies with the emphasis on handiness in the second round, but I think we've gotten away from the hunters in the second round.
So again, right off the bat, the difference between maybe some derbies that you've watched before in this class. This is a classic hunter, a hunter classic, sorry. Two rounds, judge the same. So you're not going to see anybody, I don't think, picking up a gallop and going right to the first jump. They're going to do their tours, they're going to pick their leads, and they're going to ride this somewhat like a traditional hunter round.
And I like that we can go left lead or right lead to this first fence, jump in the hedge for the first fence, and then come into the triple bar with a good gallop.
So again, no free jumps on Skip's courses, right?
No.
Triple bar to start with, big brush jump to start with on this. So here's our first horse of 12 in the $125,000 Hunter Prix here at Split Rock.
Oh, he's picking up right where he left off.
Oh. A little bit of a waiting distance there, right? I think, Chris had a brilliant gallop to the first jump. Maybe a little bit quiet there at the triple bar. Horse jumped it well. Two stride going away from the gate. Again. A little bit of a different question there with the combination now going away from the gate.
And you're looking at the crowd, the golf carts, lot to look at coming around that corner. But he did wisely use the grass rails going into the sun.
Now a new jump on this course. So we just saw another new jump. And now we're heading to the wall that's in the middle of this little complex in the center of the ring.
Which I will say would be the new style of wall with the blocks that can come off versus the much more old-fashioned solid wall.
Less fun, just a little safer. Is what you're saying? So now coming to the second to last jump. And now a long gallop home for this log jump with the grass rails. Horse jump well again. Horse jump well again. I think a little quiet to the second jump.
A little more conservative.
Maybe just lost a little bit of shape through the two stride. Again, just away from the gate, a different look. Still love this horse.
So scores coming in kind of across the range of what we were talking about. A 70 on the low end, 82 was on the high end, 75, 78, 82. The scores we end up keeping 235 for our total.
History being made here, Pat, at Split Rock with the first ever playing of Crazy Train during a hunter class. So Sheila Motley coming back for the second round. I think one of two riders with two horses in the second round.
And as an amateur, 3 riders with 2 in the second round. Chris, Nick, and Sheila.
Very good.
But also, to be said, as an amateur, coming back with multiples. And a little bit of a different look also for the hunters, coming in ox or vertical.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I've ever seen that. So, yeah, just a different feel and definitely a different class. I'm loving it, and I think the crowd's loving it.
I think that is the riskiest fence on the course with those.
Probably the lightest touch you could have a rail down. Not a lot of rails, knock on wood, today that we've seen, but yeah, you're right. That's not going to take much of a hit.
No, and nice to see.
Let's see Sheila bring this one home, right? Nice trip, I think, so far. Very solid. Waiting on scores for Sheila Motley. Lynn Gogan trotting in the ring.
Looking very good. Pair of 386s and 287s. Very, very consistent across our judging panels. Already picking up a nice pace.
And again, talking to riders during the course walk, you know, I think they were all trying to come up with a plan and trying to see what the judges were looking for in the second round. It's not a handy. It's a classic hunter round, but I think you're going to see these riders galloping and maybe taking some turns like a handy, hoping to get rewarded.
And it's got to be a little bit of a different feel for a rider when your instructions are show the brilliance of your horse. And it really leaves almost a little artistic interpretation to how you want to do so. You know, so often in our sport, it's very dogmatic. This is the handy, this is the classic. It's kind of nice to see just a little different approach to how it's done.
I think it's really exciting, but I think we found in the first round that the riders and horses that galloped the jumps, that were on that bigger step, that were brilliant, you know, not surprisingly got rewarded.
And it is something to be said that we do have a judging panel that has been showing and judging themselves their whole lives. And with the course being a little bit of that throwback and looking to a little more of what the hunters used to be with the canter and the open stride and much less distances that you're trying to package in like you do in a lot of the arenas that we show in on a consistent basis over the years.
I think he had the rub at the wall that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's out of place. Didn't come down, but it's a tough one with them having to go out and check that fence. That's a little more obvious for the judges that if you can't hear the rub, you can definitely see that. And with the scores coming in 71, 73, a pair of 76s and an 83.
So amateur Sheila Motley still leading this class early on.
Commandingly.
I think Tori Colvin's going to have something to say about that, though.
Especially with the one-score format coming back. And it's hard. You don't see a lot of riders that are, I mean, I guess the term cold-blooded is a little bit overused at times in sports, but you watch her standing at the end gate, the moment isn't too big. Even from a young age, she's won big classes at 15, 16, 17 years old on top horses, but against all the best professionals that the business has to offer.
I wonder how hard it is for these guys to sort of hold in that aggressiveness, right? I think most of us are now used to the handy and taking some chances, and you're having to actually sort of kind of reel it in just a little bit in this classic round. And
little bit of playing around the corner like Chris has did. It's kind of interesting to see as you're watching the horses go around, some of the spectators that we've seen. We've seen some of the jumper people coming over to watch. We've seen some of the other officials as they've finished their round. I see them walking along the concourse watching. It's not often that you see necessarily the other judges finish, much less the jumper judges come over to watch and see how this is going.
Well, it's kind of history being made, right? I mean, we've never seen a class like this before, this format. One of the largest purses in the hunter industry. First, you're going to come and watch.
I think behind possibly the Hunter Spectacular and Derby finals, but this might be more than the Hunter Spectacular and Wellington tonight. Might have been 100,000 this year. I know Derby Finals, I believe, the highest purse that we'll see this year in the Hunters. The judges look like they're liking this one quite a bit coming in. This might be our new leader. 88, 88, 88, 90. Right now the 90 our drop score with 3 88s coming across. 82 our drop score on the low side. 264. Tori coming in, taking the lead over Sheila.
Yeah, it really is one of those hunting in northern England over those stone walls, hedges, and the fences. A great course and great performance from so many.
I do think you saw in that round, like say for the wall, she turned it a little early, she cut across it, she got inside to the second to last jump. So you saw just a little bit of an element of handiness, of brilliance, and obviously got rewarded for it.
Yeah, even the open pace, kind of where the judges have been looking the whole class. Shiloh Rosenboom, one of our juniors coming in, one of the few juniors to qualify into this second round. Another design element I think a lot of people don't realize is the thought process behind these grass rails going away as the sun's starting to come down. You don't get the glare off of the fence that the riders would see, both the boxes and the fences being the grass rails.
It's inviting, right? You're trying to get the best effort out of the horse, not trying to trap the horse.
That's a tough one, I think, for the juniors. Not a lot of these guys get this big ring riding experience where you have to really pick up that pace and keep it. There's not a lot of places still that have an arena this size that you can canter the hunters around.
That's a fantastic trip.
Yeah.
Such a great name, likely story. We could use that a lot these days. And this is coming out of our large junior division. And 15 and under, so again, one of our younger competitors here.
Horse coming in now, 251 Pat.
Yeah. 78, the drop score of it, 88, 84, 80, 87.
Solidly into third place right now after, what, 5 horses?
And the scores kind of follow. The scores have definitely been up and down the spectrum so far. This one, Rory Casket coming in, I believe, out of the junior divisions with Checkpoint Charlie.
You saw Rory come inside after that triple bar in the middle of the ring. And again, I think what the judges and the instructions were to these riders was to do the test and do the course, to show your horse off the best. So obviously, they thought that that horse was going to do that well. It did. You know, maybe a little bit quiet to that jump, but slipped inside really easily.
And with Tori getting those good scores with that little bit of tighter turns, I'm curious to see if that's going to cause people to change their plan a little bit.
I would think probably one of the bigger classes that rider has done, and making it into the second round and having your chance to win this, I think that was fantastic. Great effort. So Nick coming back now on his first of two.
And Nick with the second and third overall, moving this one up.
This is Diplomat. This is the horse that showed in the high performance division. I think it was the first horse, I think, to do the 7 and the 7 on the outside line and got rewarded for it. So I think Nick is pretty famous for his second rounds in these kind of classes. I think you're going to see a great effort here. Definitely not going to be conservative.
No, he didn't. He came a long way to do this class. I think he's not going to be leaving anything out there. Oh,
that's unfortunate.
That is a tough one.
So we can't, not exactly sure what you can see because we're just trying to watch this live from the tower, but he did have that second jump, 2-stride down.
It's the first rail we've had so far in the second round, with 6 having gone. 7th of our 12 coming back. Definitely carrying a lot more pace coming to this last fence than the others have.
Still a nice trip. Unfortunate rail. Corey Colvin winning this class. We have five horses left. Pat?
5 coming back. It is nice, though, due to the format, with the $25,000 being offered for that first round, he is going away with a nice check sitting. 3rd overall coming in.
2-6-4 the score. 2-5-9 for second place, Sheila Motley. And well, it is Sheila who joins us once again. Sheila, this time with
Sheila Motley's second ride, the only amateur or junior to get 2 here into this second round.
first person to turn inside of that oxer to get to the triple bar. I think you're going to see more and more of that as this second round winds down.
Winter horse definitely jumped that triple bar well.
At least from our perspective, you really can see the difference in positioning, right? You know, some jumps we can see well from here, others are a little obscured. I think it's, you know, sometimes the same with judges. It shows you, you know, why scores can be different. Another horse with a great expression. Fantastic.
Yeah. See if it's going to be good enough to catch Tori.
Tori leading with what score, Pat?
Tori with a 264 in our lead, which was 88 averages. This one coming in very, very close. 262. Just 2 points behind Tori. 90 with the high score, 84 with our drop, 89, 88, 85 from our three panel.
She had Tori a little bit nervous there. That was a great trip. Getting into our top four now, or at least the top four returning. Again, everybody returning with a clean slate. These are just the best scores from the first round coming back last. Greg Frolick trotting in.
I will say, I really like. Is that good? Yeah. I really like this horse of Greg's.
Their inside turn, first and second jump.
And Greg with a lot of Derby experience, the turning and the galloping, something he's very strong with.
Especially these guys at the top, right? They're kind of playing with house money. They got the biggest amount from that first round, which paid $25,000. You might see some chances being taken here.
You're gonna have to take a chance for 125. Ooh. Is that a light rub on the back?
Yeah, still in the cups. Again, don't think they can hear it, the music playing, but I'm sure some of the judges maybe saw that. A little rub, a little jump in the cups there.
Maybe we'll float the idea by the riders. We'll mic the jumps. Let everybody know.
Yeah, they would love that. Like a basketball shot that clanks off the rim. Yeah, we would love that. Let's not introduce that.
We did see one year in Florida, in Wellington, a course designer brought all of the grass rails. Did the entire course over grass rails. Best scores we had the entire circuit.
Fantastic, Greg.
Ooh.
The crowd definitely liked it.
I think he's close. Ooh. He is definitely close. 7 points in the lead. 87 and 92, the drop scores 89, 91, 91 with a 90.3 average from the three judges. That's pretty solid.
That's great for Greg. That's just a beautiful trip. So Greg Kralik leading with three coming back after him.
Scene 9, 3 to go. First of our 3 to challenge. Chris Payne on Rain. You can tell it's a hack winner. Showing off a little bit for the judges. Now Chris took the time to break down to the walk, stop, collect himself, pick up the canter, and go. It's the first one I've seen like actually stop and take that deep breath before they get started. Jumped that really nicely. So Chris taking a little more of the classic hunter approach, going outside.
Definitely a little bit of a different approach here, right? And again, it'll be very interesting to see how the judges use it and do it. The horse has jumped beautifully. He's gone around great. Chris has given this horse a great ride. You know, I would say definitely a little more conservative than Greg or Tori at this point. But you can't fault the way the horses jump on around, at least from our perspective.
You know, but this horse is more of the traditional hunter, a little less of the derby type that you see that's kind of become a little more prevalent. I've always thought that was an interesting point. You know, the traditional hunters, your handy's 20% of your score in a division. And then you get into the derbies and it's 55 to 60% of your score. And it changes what horses you look for, how you buy, how you train, you know, depending on what your goal is, the hunters or maybe moving into the derbies. It is, it did pay off, 276. The drop score, 88 and 94, 93, 93, 90.
Fantastic scores.
I mean, it's
into the lead.
And back to when the instructions were given to the riders, what's best for your horse. And for Chris's horse, a traditional hunter, the nice pace, the turns deep into the corner. Much, much different approach than what Tori and Greg took.
Down to our final two.
It's kind of nice to see, though, that the judges are rewarding what you think is best for your horse.
Well, again, they're consistent with the instructions that they gave, right? Do what's best for your horse. Show your horse off the best that you can. Show its strengths. Chris's horse is a beautiful jumper. It's beautiful across the ground. I mean, can't argue with the results.
And I'm sure you all appreciate the format that we're seeing. And the prize fund as well at $150,000 in the Hunter Grand Prix, presented by Haggard. 2 more to follow. We're going to see number 362. That is Hannah's, and then finally the one who gave us the very, very best score from round number one was Kelly Farmer and Meaningful. Either of those two certainly have the ability, they've got the horsepower, they've got the ability as riders themselves to overtake Christopher Payne and Rain. It's going to go down to the wire, this one. It really is. In this competition presented by Haggard, and a huge thanks again to them for making this possible as a presenting sponsor and as title sponsor, the Garmin Diamonds title sponsor for the whole event here in Kentucky.
I think Nick Hannah's making his way down from the schooling area, I believe.
And right now, 92 average is what our leader's sitting at. It's a tough one to go.
Again, that's not Andy bonus points. That's not
Nope.
high options. That's a straight up score, and that was a beautiful trip.
Walk away with a lot of gold, but right now, Chris Payne's looking at the best pot of gold with those two. So let's see who's going to be joining us next, and that is Jenkins. Mr. Nick Hannah's has the ride for 3M, second Polis, and then our best score for the first round, Meaningful. Coming in, Kelly Farmer, one competitor, representing Emma. That didn't help. So folks, I just can't say enough about this format. The class, the $150,000 Hunter Grand Prix presented by Haggard. And Split Rock, innovative, doing it again, leading the way. And it's going to be
I think as much as you making a plan for what's best for your horse, I think you got to make a plan for what's best for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, at least from what I know about Nick, he gallops and jumps and he takes chances, in these classes. And I think you've got to stay with what you're comfortable with too. I think you're going to see him lay it out here a little bit, maybe have a bigger gallop, approach it a little bit more, in a handy fashion than Chris did. Because I think it's as much as what you're comfortable with. Big canter right off the bat, right?
And he's been riding the jumpers lately. He had a couple horses in the National Grand Prix last week.
He won the National Grand Prix last week here, which, trust me, I just rode in it. It's not easy. He did a fantastic job.
Very inside from the first to the second fence.
Chose the inside turn. It's not a hard inside turn from the first to second jump. The two stride. Really galloping now. Really galloping. Take that same slice here at the wall that Torrey did earlier.
It's nice to see him not to ride aggressive at that and not kind of ride a little defensively to it.
Brilliant trip. Again, just two different styles there, right? We'll see how it's rewarded, but that was just a great ride.
Almost there. 87, the drop score low. 95, the drop score on the high side. 90, 92, and 92. 274 points, just 2 points off the lead.
Now here's Kelly Farmer, right? No stranger to this moment. And I think the same style as Nick, right? She gallops.
Yep.
She gallops in your rated 100 division classes. So I think you're going to see a big stride, a big step here, and some brilliance.
Big ring, small ring, it doesn't matter. Her pace is very, very similar. She does take the inside turn from 1 to 2. But Kelly loves galloping to those jumps. And I don't know if you guys can hear this at home, but galloping around, chasing a high score, little Bon Jovi living on a prayer. It is jumping those oxers.
This horse loves Kelly style. The more she gallops, the higher he's getting. Up the wall well.
It's up to the judges now. Oh, close. 273 points, 94 and 90 are the drop scores. 91, 90, 275, my correction. 1 point off, sliding between first and second. 92, 91, 92.
That's a great effort. So Chris Bain's going to be your winner, yeah?
Yeah, Chris Payne with Rain, 276 points. That 92 average does stick it. Kelly Farmer with Meaningful, 275. Nick Hannes with Jenkins, 274. That's 1, 2, and 3. Which is kind of interesting to think about. The judges don't have to worry about pinning it in order that they think. They're not worrying about giving these scores, yet you still get 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. Judges are at separate positions, electronic scoring, no one hears anyone else. Like it's interesting to see that it's that close.
Well, I think this inaugural Hunter Prix was a success by even Derek Braun's standards, right? This crowd was into it, right? It was fast moving.
All of the things that were looked for, we had.
Haggard for their presenting sponsorship of the $150,000 Hunter Grand Prix. 60 veterinarians, 145 years of history. They are based just across the street from the Kentucky Horse Park, boasting superior ambulatory services, the world-renowned Davidson Surgery Centre, the McGee Medicine and Fertility Centres, the Haggard Laboratory, and the Haggard Sports Medicine Centre, amongst many, many other features. Ladies and gentlemen, let's congratulate them as they come through. Nick Hannes was 12th, riding Diplomat. 11th place goes to Tim Gogan and Perhaps.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, as our horses are getting organized, come in. We want to thank our distinguished judges panel and some of the best judges in the country for a long time. Walter Jimmy Lee, Bobby Reaver, Bob Crandall, Jeff Case, and Mark Younghair. Hat tip to Skip Bailey, Pat Boyle, and Derek Braun for a brilliant course. And I'm going to turn this over and say goodnight, folks. Andrew Pollard will take it from here.
Yeah, we line them up. We do line them in reverse order of merit. Tim Gogan, 11th place, riding Perhaps. Christopher Payne took 10th with Can Can. Great evening for him. Rory Kasky, Checkpoint Charlie. What a wonderful performance from Rory. Shiloh Roseboom is 8th, riding Likely Story. Sheila Motley and Gibbon is 7th. Sheila's also in 6th place, riding Willing. Then we go to the top 5, and what a top 5. It is a who's who of the Hunter divisions. Tori Colvin and Mastermind in 5th place. 4th, a brilliant horse, a brilliant rider as well, so close. 4th place, Greg Krolik and Chappie. Nick Hannes and Jenkins in 3rd. He leads the Fist Bump Award as well. How close? Kelly Farmer, the last to go. She finishes 1 mark in arrears to finish in 2nd place. But the winner is Christopher Payne and Rain. Absolutely fabulous, it really is. Derek Braun congratulating, accompanied by our veterinarians from Haggard, Dr. Caitlin Sackett, Camilla Jameson, Dr. Sarah Escaro, and Dr. Nimit Brown. Thank you so much to Haggard for their support. It is so appreciated as presenting sponsor of the Hunter Grand Prix. $150,000 to fund. It's a huge purse, and well, the huge purse had huge performances as well. It really did. Christopher Payne, Kelly Farmer, Nick Hannes, the top 3, and well, we are going to send them to the podium for the presentation as well. Grooms, come forward. Let's go to that podium presentation. But a mention, of course, for all of those others that made the whole thing possible. The performances of lifetimes from Greg Krolik, Tori Colvin, Sheila Motley, 2 placings within the top 12. Shiloh Roseboom, Rory Kasky, and other rides for Christopher Payne, Tim Gogan, and Nick Hannes. Let's go to the podium. Say congratulations, please do, as we step up to the 3rd place. 3rd place goes to Nick Hannes and Jenkins. It is a runner-up position. So close. Kelly Farmer and Meaningful. But on the top step of the podium, Christopher Payne and Rain. Courtesy of Haggard, $37,500 goes to the winner, and that winner, Christopher Payne. That, ladies, was absolutely fantastic, ladies and gentlemen, it really was. Ladies and gentlemen, in honour of our winning rider, let's please ask you to stand and remove cover for the national anthem of the United States of America. Fabulous, it really was a fabulous event. Thank you again to the judges, they really made that possible with their professionalism all throughout, and again, it really is appreciated. We'll get more photographs and then of course that champagne toast as well. That's always a messy affair, and we'll hand over to the champagne. I'm sure that'll go. Oh yeah, let's get rid of the trophy first. We don't want to break that, and all is good. Go for it, guys. Christopher Payne, Kelly Farmer, Nick Hannes, they're on the podium, and the champagne shower, I'm sure, well, here we go, all over, and well deserved to all of them. And well, the check may go towards the dry cleaning bill as well, because you're going to need it after that champagne. Christopher Payne taking the plaudits, suck that champagne down as well. Christopher Payne and Rain take the win. A bit of dry cleaning needed for those top three. We have to say again, a big thank you to Greg Krolik, 4th place. Congratulations, Tori Colvin in 5th, Sheila Motley 6th and 7th, Shiloh Roseboom 8th, Rory Kasky 9th. Again, another ride for Christopher Payne was 10th, Tim Gogan 11th, and also Nick Hannes in 12th place. Now remember, the Helm Limited Fist Pump Award. And well, for the first time ever, it is a Hunter rider who leads the way. Nick Hannes leads from his Hunter round. Perhaps he can better that. Congratulations, he leads the way. Please congratulate him, Christopher Payne and Rain. Here we go, he's going through it again. Nick Hannes in 3rd, Kelly Farmer 2nd. The winner, though, of course, was Christopher Payne and Rain. Let's go one more time. On his own, looking for that fist bump as well. Christopher Payne, he rode Rain to the victory.
We have a new